Hi, good afternoon. My name is Dave Sutherland. I'm a facilitator with the Building Leadership for Change program that involves students from Saudi Arabia. I'm talking with Ebitsum, and she and I are having a brief discussion about some of the things that we taught in the course. First of all, I want you to know that it's been a privilege to work with the people from Saudi Arabia. They've been fantastic learners, focused, very intelligent, and very good with English language skills. So it's been an honor and privilege to talk with the various students, all one-to-one and in the entire classroom. I'd like to talk a little bit about what the program involves. It is called the Building Leadership for Change. So the operative word is change, and the change is focused on education. When you make changes, you have to consider what is the rationale. Why are we making the change? What do we aspire to achieve for each learner? What do we want each learner in the classroom to learn, and what is our basic outcome? As learners, we want to recognize that the learner has specific needs. They need specific instruction and support to lead them and guide them on their journey in education. To do that, the teacher has to have the skills, they have to have the incentive, the reason to do it, but also what is in it for me? What is it as a teacher that would want me to consider this vision of supporting each individual learner? I will talk about that in a few minutes. Two, not only do they have to have the skills, they must have the resources. They need to have chairs, tables, technology, computers, other human resources, people who can help them in the classroom. They need a classroom size that is manageable. Too many students makes it difficult to achieve their goals. So it is so important, it's vital that teachers get an opportunity to work with small groups in the classroom. I suggest that the classrooms, like in Canada, are under 30 pupils in the class. Secondly, when you have a vision, when you have reasons why you want to make the changes in the classroom, you have to develop a plan. Here's, for me, what should go in the plan. 3 areas. Curriculum is not just learning the textbook. There is so much information in our world today that we can glean from other people, from researchers, from textbooks, from libraries, from technology. For instance, Google, on the internet, we can get so much more information. The textbook is not sufficient for us to be proficient in any particular topic. The world is bigger, but at the same time it's made smaller. It's a global village because we have so much information. Here are 3 areas that I would like you to consider when you think of making changes in the classroom. Number 1, not only do we have to understand the needs of the learner, we have to understand that there is more to learning than just chapter by chapter in a textbook. We have to recognize that there is a wealth of information that students should be exposed to. To do that, we don't all learn in the same way. The learner in the classroom has different needs. Some have background needs. They have learned proficiency in their language. They have learned proficiency in reading and writing, whereas other students in the classroom haven't got those skills. They haven't developed reading and language and writing skills. They need more time, whereas the other students, the ones who are proficient in Arabic or in English, need time to go ahead and to learn new material because their rate of learning is far different, far better than the students who learn a little bit slower. Each is in our classrooms. Each student needs our support as teachers. Differentiated instruction recognizes student learning differences. Therefore, the curriculum cannot always be taught in the same way to each student. Just by memorizing the textbook is no guarantee that we are meeting the needs of the learner. We want learners to leave the classroom excited about learning, motivated to learn. We want students to recognize that there is a lot more to learn in their lifetime. They must be ongoing learners, just as the teacher must be. So it's a symbiotic relationship. The teacher must be an ongoing learner. The learner, the student, must be an ongoing learner. They must be open to new knowledge, new information, new understandings that come almost daily in our societies. Canada and the Saudi Arabia group have been working together to learn what are the skills that we need to teach. Within differentiated instruction, we teach about product. How do we demonstrate that we've learned? To show the product, they have to learn different skills as part of the process of learning. We use things like think, pair, share, small group learning versus whole class learning. We learn about the plus minuses and things we find interesting. We've done De Bono's work on the 6 hats, each hat representing a different perspective on critical thinking skills. We have learned inquiry skills. We've learned how to develop lesson design to develop a lesson that meets each of the individual needs. And within the lesson, we incorporate various instructional strategies, like the ones I just mentioned, 6 hats, PMI, KWL. All of these can be explained by Ebbetson whenever you feel free to talk to her. Ebbetson knows all of these things. She knows instructional strategy. She knows how to develop the lesson design. Ebbetson was a great learner in our class. She is very creative. She can help you learn about lesson design and all the instructional needs. Once the student starts his learning journey, he must be given feedback. Assessment, formative assessment, which is ongoing learning, is the student coming along beside, or the teacher coming along beside the student and showing him the correct way so that ultimately the product he produces, be it an essay, a role play, a lecture, a report, a written report, or an oral report, isn't poorly done, because on his way to developing the product, he's been given ongoing feedback from the teacher. That is vital. We move students from what they already know to what they have to learn. This is all developed by a theorist called Vygotsky. We move from actual learning to the zone of proximal development. Along the way, from actual development to zone of proximal development, we bring in lesson design, we bring in instructional strategies like the ones I've mentioned to hold the hand and guide the learner. And we use formative assessment to help him on that journey toward proximal development. Ebbetson knows about proximal development. She knows about Vygotsky. Ask her, she's very knowledgeable in that area. So we use formal assessment, ongoing learning, giving feedback on that journey. And at the very end of a unit, we may have a summative test, which is another form of assessment, but it's done once the topic or the theme or the curriculum piece has been attained. Students can demonstrate their learning in a product, as I mentioned, role-playing or presenting a report, written or oral. And there are a variety of ways in which students can show their learning. The final consideration is the environment. Students feel supported if they feel safe. They can come into the classroom, they're not threatened, they feel that they can speak up, that they've been given a voice, that they can talk about their learning, they can ask questions, they can feel it's safe to fail and learn when they do fail. When a student fails, it can be the best thing ever that happened to them if the teacher is supportive. By failing, the student gets feedback that he has to learn other skills in order to achieve the learning goal or the learning outcome. Within the learning outcome, we develop success criteria, little steps that the student can take to achieve the learning outcome goal. Ebbetson knows about developing learning outcomes within the curriculum. She knows how to develop success criteria, usually 4 or 5 success criteria to attain the curriculum outcome or the curriculum goal. And each of those are steps towards attaining the learning goal, but also attaining the zone of proximal development. And then new learning begins from there. Along the way, the learner must develop a self-concept as a learner, that he can learn, that he's motivated to learn. He must feel that he's not a failure, that he can be successful, and that he is capable, has the capacity to be an ongoing learner. That is the ultimate goal, a student who is prepared and motivated to learn. That is a very essential outcome in our curriculum in Canada. It's been an honor to work with Ebitson. I wish her all the success back in Saudi Arabia. Do talk to her. She knows all about the things I've spoken about. I spoke quickly, but Ebitson can slow it down, speak in Arabic, and tell you how each of those attributes can be honed, developed, and used by teachers within a school. Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you.